There's a lot of overpowered tanks in Blitz. Just in Tier 10, you've got vehicles like the Kron and Rinocerante, which dominate the meta, let alone talking about the E50M or other vehicles. But, if you were to ask me what is the most overpowered tank in all of Blitz, well, it's going to be a Tier 8. And I feel like that's not too surprising, because there's many Tier 8s which are quite overpowered. Vehicles like the T-77 are definitely up there with the double-shot 380 damage gun this vehicle features. And there's plenty. But there's one Tier 8 in mind that I always think of when it's completely broken overpoweredness, and that is the Death Star. This is a Tier 8 Blitz Nation tank destroyer. And I know, some of you might say, but, Smasher, Annihilator. Don't get me wrong, the Annihilator, the Smasher, they're dangerous, they're strong. But at the end of the day, they are not nearly as strong or as capable as this tank. Why? Well, the Death Star features a 3-shell autoloader. It does 310-ish damage per shot, and it has a 2.2-second interclips. That means in 4.4 seconds, you can deal about 930 damage. That's a lot. But it's British. Well, it's based off of a British tank. And because of that, it has Hesh, which does 370 damage a shot. And not only that, the Hesh deals 1100 damage in a penetrating clip. So, in 4.4 seconds, shooting at tanks which have 170 millimeters or less of frontal protection, you can deal 1100 damage. That's over half of any Tier 8. And, because this tank has 77% camo, great mobility, stupid levels of traverse speed, it doesn't have a downside. I mean, I guess you can say the armor's not good, but like, who gives a flying fork when everything else about the tank is completely overpowered? So yeah, that's where we are. The Death Star. A tank which I seriously consider to be the most overpowered tank in the game. Now, obviously, I've said that, and I'll probably deal 2 damage in this game, but we can still see why the tank's stupid, right? Right now I'm chilling at 45 kilometers per hour uphill. Why is this tank so fast? I don't know. It is ridiculously fast. Normally, tank destroyers are limited by their turret traverse speeds. Not this tank. It has very quick turret traverse speeds. It's not a problem at all. Now, it doesn't have a crazy amount of gun depression, as we can see, but it's enough. It's enough to get the job done. Again, you're a tank destroyer, so it's not like you're supposed to be frontlining anyway. All we are doing is waiting for somebody to ideally cross this. We have a Defender Mark 1, who our T-23E3 is going to fight. I'm going to back up, because I think I might be spotted. Nope, I'm not. Alright, well, so far what we're going to do is we're just going to wait in this bush, and we're going to hope that the enemy defender or some other tank makes a misplay and overpokes. If they do, this will be a great way to farm. And honestly, this T-23 is doing a great job of letting me cover. So let's just hope that the defender does poke this. Looks like the defender's not completely dumb, though, because that player is not poking. Let's see. Well, we do have the Yo off on the flank, and I'm kind of hoping the Yo is going to move up here. Come on. Yes. And there's 1 shell, 379. 2 shells, 346. Ah! That's still, by the way, 700 damage we just did. Just like that. Boom, boom. 700 damage, 2 seconds. Think about that. That is insane. And, I should mention, this tank is 2600 DPM, so it's not like you're going to struggle to rip out damage either. It has great levels of DPM. Look, guys, the Defender Mark 1. Yep, there's a 461 HE. Not able to get the second shell out. That's alright. We're just going to reload, and we're going to back up. Now, at this point, I don't really have too much support, so we're just going to be smart about this. We're going to back into cover here. I mean, the enemy team's not doing great as it is. We only have a couple seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and let's see. So, obviously, the defender is trying to shoot me, and we have the T-34-2 off to the flank, so what I'm kind of hoping is that maybe we can get some... there we go. Nice. The Psalm was going to absolutely nuke that player. Yeah, that was a great play for you there, Effie. Run away from me to run into another autoloader, which is equally as dangerous. And you're dead. And you're dead. There you go. I mean, yeah, we're not going to deal that much damage this game because the enemy team's already dead, but, I mean, still, even in that short amount of time, we were able to rip out damage. Now, is this player AFK? I have no clue. They could be, but usually AFK tanks spawn over in that corner, and I would have assumed our team would have spotted an AFK player, so yeah, I don't think this player is AFK, which means I don't know where the heck they are. Base C is captured, and I would assume that if Base C is captured, then the Indian Panzer was the reason. So probably they went from base either A or D. Or not A, base C. So either they went to C first and then went to D, or they went to D and then to C. So if they went to C after D, then most likely they're over here somewhere. That would be my assumption. Maybe they're heading over towards our spawn. I don't think they're over at base D. So I think realistically the highest chance we have of running into this player is over on this portion of the map. Now I could be wrong. This is a complete guess, but that's my guess. I think they're over here. So far we haven't spotted anybody. Our team is now capturing base D. As I said, I think the Indian Panzer went this way. So, I don't know. Our whole team's over on the other portion, and wow, would you look at that. My brain worked, and we missed the first shot, but that's fine. We got the second shell into his tank, and the third shell. That's still a pretty decent chunk off of his vehicle. And you know what, at this point, because we're so high on the base cap, all I realistically need to do is back up for 10 seconds, put on my speed boost, run away, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this player is going to try and send me. There you go, nice 342. And we're going to win on base cap. Plus, I did pretty good, 2,700 damage. This alone was a very basic but solid game for the Death Star. It showcased the DPM, it showcased the mobility, and it showcased where the Hesh penetration is really dangerous. I don't think we actually got out a full clip in this game, but that was mainly because the enemy team was so scared of us, they were just running away. So let's try one more battle. Let's see if the Death Star can do another, really dangerous game. By the way, I should mention, this tank has more alpha damage on the standard HE, 420. So if you're able to penetrate vehicles with light armor, let's say the Type 62 on the enemy team, the Scorpion G, the AMX CDC, I can deal a 1,260 damage clip. 1,260! What? Yeah, you heard that. You heard that correct. So with the direction our team's going, what we're going to do is we're actually going to try a new spot. We're going to go right over to that corner there. We're going to see how this works out. Again, this tank is fast. It's not like you're slow. I'm chilling at 45 kilometers per hour already. Speed boost is great because it allows us to accelerate as well. So all we have to do is hope that we can cross to this quickly enough that we're not going to have to worry. So let's keep going here. Our Astron is just getting there. And keep on going, keep on going. Easy. Look at that. Right into the corner. And just like that, we are now safe. Alright, sweet. So what we're going to do is we're going to ideally turn our tank around here. Obviously, that's the only problem without having a turret is you can't really turn. But we'll get there. Just give it a moment. There's the Type, and bonk, 340 damage. Let's see if the Type pokes it again. Come on. You know you want to. Especially with the level of camo values this tank has, that Type literally cannot spot me. Like, that's how overpowered this tank is. Alright, well, let's see. Is anybody over here? Base C. I mean, I'm just going to reload. And when we get our clip loaded, we can move up. There was more than one tank spotted over here, if I'm not mistaken. So, we'll see. But, it should be a pretty easy whatever anyway. Yeah, I think there is a tank over here. Oh, there it is, the Scorpion. There's one, 437 into the Scorpion, and dead. I mean, how do you counter that? Like, seriously, how do you counter the damage output this vehicle has? So, obviously, the enemy team is just being farmed at this point. They're all in the open because for some reason they think that's a smart play. And they're getting nuked. Are we going to be able to deal any damage this game? I don't think so, but we're going to try our best. We have the 590 sitting in the open. We have the 252 sitting in the open. I can't reliably pen the 590 with high explosive, but we can go 1, we can go 2, and at this point, the 252 is back into cover. We have the Chieftain who is also into cover, so I think the best play to make here is to just speed up as fast as we can and try and get a full clip into that Chieftain. I think that's the best play here. So yeah, let's head up, and again, look at the mobility, right? If this tank was slow, it would be somewhat understandable, but it's not. Watch the health on this Chieftain, right? 347... 326, and there you go, 384. That was an 1,100 damage clip you just witnessed. 1,100 damage. Just like that. It's so overpowered. It's so incredibly dumb. So now we just reload a little bit longer. I don't really care if this guy shoots me. He'll get one shell into me, and, well, I was just hoping that we could get the clear, but our G-Sor was still able to squeeze the shell right in between. But I'm not going to get mad. This was a super easy win, and it really showcased just the stupidity of this tank. 2,800 damage, easiest game ever. I really do consider this to be one of the most OP tanks in Tier 8. It is just an incredibly stupid vehicle. So at the end of the day, you can obviously let me know your personal feelings, thoughts, and opinions, but if you'd like to see more content like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.